All right. Yes. Welcome to the Wednesday night threesome. Wednesday night
God
threesome, man. Yes. What is better than a threesome with three guys?
Listen.
Very little. Very little.
This was not our idea.
Dan,
All right, I am streaming. I'm going to double check to make sure I'm good to go. I am streaming live on YouTube. I should be streaming live on YouTube. I should be live on Facebook, and I should be live on Twitch.
I like how Dan was like, we got to keep the Lions hating to a minimum. First comment I see is by One Pride 40. Bro, Goff is that bad. Listen, I didn't say he did.
We tried. We tried, man. We tried.
Listen, One Pride. I am going to go out of my way though to watch your Michigan State Spartans. I am going to go out of my way to watch them play. I really want to watch that. I really want to see that running back. If I'm correct, they're number 10 now. You guys will have to. Somebody will have to tell me. I did get a chance to watch some college football.
I thought Michigan was unranked still. I don't know.
Michigan State.
Oh, Michigan State. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. Did I say Michigan?
Listen, I was going to talk
1 minute into the show, and I'm already getting things wrong. But One Pride 40, I am going to try to watch your Spartans play this weekend. I love your running back. I keep hearing all this great stuff about him. I want to know, is he an NFL player? Is he a legitimate Heisman candidate? You're going to buy this? Okay. All right, man. Funk, what is up, brother? What is up, man? Hey, man, you know what? Originally, I had a schedule, a plan for what I wanted to talk about today, and we're going to get to all that. We're going to answer all questions live. But what's been blowing up on social media is a three-way trade that would send Deshaun Watson to the Miami Dolphins and Tua to the Washington football team. It looks like it's going to happen. It just hasn't been finalized. I've been checking both ESPN and the NFL Network. Nothing's come through, but this looks like it's going to happen. I'm going to start off with the Homeland here. And Alex, man, what's your opinion, man?
First of all,
deal? Is this going to happen?
It's probably going to happen, as much as I absolutely hate to say that, because it means I will have to play Deshaun Watson twice a year, both in Madden and in real life, which I do not want to do. But I do think that that's a good option. I think Deshaun Watson is a drastic improvement over Tua. I think he brings a new element to that team. And I feel like, granted, they don't have the weapons, which is why I think they'll probably draft one. Great, because, obviously, you have Jalen Waddle. Okay, that's a weapon in itself. But Devontae Parker's almost never healthy. They don't have Jakeem Grant anymore. Excuse me. So I feel like if they draft like a really good weapon in this year's draft, that'll really help them and sit us probably third in the division.
Well, you probably would have to get rid of both first-round picks.
Yeah,
I'm thinking that but you still would get an interesting option in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Corey, what's your opinion, brother?
I mean, Washington finally gets a quarterback.
Yeah,
they're probably going to lose their first-round pick because of it. Miami's probably not going to pick in the first round for a long time. And
now they do get San Francisco's first round picks for the next 2 years.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true.
I forgot about that.
Unless they go make another blockbuster trade for another player.
Problem is, those first round picks are probably going to go to Houston because Deshaun Watson's worth those first round picks.
Yeah. It really just depends on how many first round picks they're willing to put up for Deshaun Watson, which is going to have to be a lot because it's Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson makes that team a lot better, though.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Yeah. That's a whole new element of the team that I'm going to have to hate dealing with twice a year.
If Houston doesn't walk away from this with at least one player, they got some problems, man.
Yeah, they need somebody. Like
they need somebody.
Even if, like I said, not that this would happen, even if they got Devontae Parker of all people, that's still better than walking away with just a couple of picks. Like, granted, picks can be very useful in the long run, but you also don't know what you're getting into when you pick a player. Johnny Manziel is an example.
Yeah. So if Houston needs to walk away from this with one proven player, can't just be all draft picks because Houston's probably not going to hit those draft picks.
Well, this would give Houston, I think it would be 3 picks in the first round, and 2 of them are probably going to be top 10 picks. So, I mean, they have to either parlay those picks or do something there.
Between theirs and Miami, yeah, those would be
he
in the
says
top 10.
Washington finally gets a quarterback. You're funny.
I mean,
Tua would actually.
Tua goes to Washington, so you stupid for not listening, sir.
Here's what's funny is that he goes
trash, that's why.
And backs up Fitzpatrick again. But I have to think Fitzpatrick would end up being the starting quarterback.
Obviously.
I don't think Tua is
a better
option.
I don't think
Tua will start in 2022.
Yes,
but I think Fitzpatrick would still be the starting quarterback.
I think he needs another year of, like, I would say, quote unquote mentorship. I think Fitzpatrick's a good quarterback to learn that from, considering he's a journeyman and has been on half the NFL. He's no Josh McCown, but he's literally the second. He might be the greatest journeyman of all time. But, I think having that opportunity to learn from a veteran quarterback for a second year is something that he needs.
I think so too. I think Miami completely.
Okay, fine. But would you rather have Tua or would you rather have Taylor Heineke? Because Taylor Heineke is the kind of quarterback where he has his moments and then he's trashed every other game.
I personally, I don't think Tyler Heineke's an NFL starter, and Tua, I think, has the potential to be an NFL starter. He's got to stay healthy, and in One Pride 40, he's right. He's got to stay healthy. He's got to stay healthy.
Hey, Denver Gator, my boy. Trust me, man. I understand. We were supposed to beat the Cowboys. We were supposed to beat the Dolphins. We were kind of supposed to beat the Saints, but we didn't. Trust me. I know. I hear it from Red Sea over here all the time.
I have not said anything.
And Denver Gator, man, I didn't watch a single snap, but man, I'm sorry. For those of you who don't know, LSU beat Florida.
Please don't remind me. It sucked.
Had a school record on the ground. I want to say it was 279. I've never even heard of this kid. So, hey, listen, but you know what? You get to play tomorrow, and we're going to talk about Thursday night football. We are going to talk about Thursday night football. But
Pride didn't answer my question.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, Pride. See, Pride still hasn't answered my question. But would you rather have Tua or would you rather have Taylor Heineke?
Well, I think I mean,
is it Pride or Funk? Are you talking about?
I'm talking about Pride because Pride is keen on. I think. Wait, it might have been.
I think it might have been Funk.
My bad, Pride.
No.
I mean, both. They were kind of on the same subject. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's really a debate that Tua is a better option as a starter if he can stay healthy. But oh wow, okay, I made a mistake here. One Pride 40 would rather have Heineke over Tua.
Okay.
All right.
Excuse me.
What are you
smoking? Right. Hey, that's kind of. Hey, listen, we're all opinions are welcome. I don't agree though. One Pride, I will admit.
No, Heineke, no.
Tua has a lot more upside too.
Especially. With
I get that he gets hurt, but if he has a full season of health, he throws for at least 4,000 yards.
Heineke, Heineke, what the heck?
I will say this, that if this trade happens and Tua goes to Washington, he's not going to start this year. It's still going to be Fitzpatrick. The plan is to have Fitzpatrick as the starter. That's going to be the plan, and I think he's due to come back next week. I think next week he's this Sunday. It's still going to be Heineke, whether this trade happens or not. I believe next week is Fitzpatrick's coming back. I could be wrong about that. But yeah, nobody. By the way, as you know, Kyler Murray is actually good. That's a good segue into our next point. I was going to start off with Corey here, being the Cardinals super fan. I was going to ask MVP right now. I think it's Kyler Murray, and I'm willing to bet, being a Cardinals fan, you agree with me. Who's in the running to be NFL MVP with Kyler Murray? Is Kyler Murray just so far above everybody else? He's just, unless he gets injured, he's going to win.
I think Kyler Murray is a front runner right now. Derrick Henry is right behind him, and that's scary to have Derrick Henry be right behind you. Because Derrick Henry's on just built different. Derrick Henry is stupid good.
Yeah, I mean, if he hits 2,000, it's kind of hard to not give him an MVP.
Well, he had 2,000 last year, didn't he?
He did,
1,800.
but nobody's ever had back-to-back 2,000-yard seasons.
Plus, in my opinion, it's a lot easier to get that for him.
He's on pace to break the record.
If he hits the rushing record and he got 2,000 last year, that it's going to be really hard to get him, not give him the MVP.
And Kyler's on pace. Kyler's not on pace for 1,000 yards because he's not had a 40-yard rushing day at all this year. He has not had 40 yards on the ground.
That's going to hurt him. That's going to hurt him.
But the problem is he's beating people with his arm, and he's beating teams bad. Cleveland, the Rams, Tennessee, beat him bad. Beat him from the pocket. He beat him bad by multiple scores each game.
Brady's not winning MVP. I'm sorry, not this year.
I gotta agree with you. I think a few other guys that are in there, and I really, really hate to say this, but I think Dak Prescott has entered the conversation, unfortunately. I think Brady's a candidate. Yeah. Josh Allen's a candidate, and Stafford's a candidate. But I mean, my 1 and 2, Kyler Murray and Derrick Henry. And man, Alex, what do you think, brother?
For me, I agree with, and as much as I hate to say this because I hate the Cardinals, but I do think Kyler Murray is the front runner for MVP. That's not deniable. Derrick Henry's definitely someone to consider. Josh Allen is someone to consider. Dak Prescott, I absolutely hate to say that, but he is also a front runner. It's not like something I can just deny. Like the way he performed against our defense. Granted, our defense is terrible, but the way that he performed was just flawless. And the way he's been performing these past couple games. But I really think it all depends on how the second half of the season goes. And in my opinion, Dak in the playoffs is like Lamar in the playoffs. Lamar is absolute dog shit in the playoffs. Granted, they beat Tennessee, but let's be honest. And I remember I told Corey this for the first time and he cracked up. Lamar Jackson has the same amount of playoff wins as COVID tests.
I think he has more COVID tests than
he has more positive COVID.
I left Lamar Jackson out of my short list, but I mean he's got to be up there. I mean,
I don't think
he really does.
Mahomes isn't in my list.
Not yet. Not yet.
It really depends on how he performs in the next couple of games, and then I'll put him in there. But now
they got an interesting game with Tennessee, and I think the winner.
I'm sorry, I don't think y'all are winning that game. I'm sorry.
The defense.
No, the Tennessee game.
I think whoever wins between Tennessee and Kansas City, if Kansas City wins, Mahomes will be elevated to the MVP candidacy.
Your defense has to step up against Derrick Henry. It's going to be an offensive game.
It's going to be a fun game.
Both of the defenses are terrible. The Tennessee Titans just lost Caleb Farley for the whole damn season. It's
going to be a good game.
It's like.
I mean, as a Chiefs fan, I'm looking forward to it. But as a Chiefs fan and wanting to keep this objective, I didn't want to rant about it too much. But no, Mahomes definitely is not an MVP candidate, despite of what you may hear on Kansas Chiefs social media. I'm going to read this comment here just because I funk's my boy. Tua may be better, but what are you really saying? Saying he's better than Heineke is like saying your kid's the smartest kid in the special needs class. How are the kids?
Jeez, that's just rude.
Denver Gator, my team's lost to 2 teams that fired a coach and was in the process of firing another. Come on. We're going to talk about Thursday night.
Coach O didn't get fired, okay? He's resigning. He's leaving after this year. I know. It was hard watching the game. I know, Denver Gator. As a Florida fan, it was hard to watch the game.
I didn't watch the game at all. You guys tell me, did LSU just rise up to the occasion, or was this just
LSU kicked our teeth in? It was bad.
Okay, so I was under the impression when I saw the score in the rushing total that Florida just kind of didn't show up for the game. That was kind of my impression.
We did not have a run defense to save our life.
Sorry, I'm keeping track of the App State Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, that was a beautiful throw in this App State game. I have it on in the background.
By the way, Mike, a side note, I finally watched your Hurricanes, and that it's been a very, very long time since I've seen a Miami Hurricanes quarterback be an NFL quarterback. That's an NFL quarterback you got there in Miami. The college, not the NFL, unfortunately. And by the way, Brady is a candidate. He's not one of my top guys, but yeah, he's definitely a candidate.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Actually, speaking of candidates, I was going to ask Alex here, and I wanted to get your opinion because I think you have the front runner. Or one of the front runners for Rookie of the Year in Mac Jones. So I wanted to hear from you directly. Who do you have as the Rookie of the Year so far?
Jamar Chase.
Okay.
Listen, as much as I want to say Mac Jones, Jamar Chase is just after the preseason stuff happened. He's been doing really well. During the season. I don't know his stats currently.
He has like 4 or 5 touchdowns already. It's crazy.
He's been performing very well. Mac Jones, I think, is in the top 3 for Rookie of the Year, but I don't think he's going to win it.
If Mac Jones beats Dallas, I think he wins it.
Yeah.
But they lost to Dallas, sadly.
Granted, he performed very well in that game.
He was my number 2, and I haven't watched enough of the Cowboys. I keep hearing Micah Parsons, but I think that a lot of the Cowboys get way too much hype. So he's not in my list. My 3 would be Chase. It would be Jones. And actually, he'll never win it, but he deserves consideration. I don't even think he'll get consideration. Would be Rashawn Slater. The left tackle for the Chargers. I
really wish offensive linemen could win awards because Rashawn Slater's like single-handedly turned a terrible offensive line into a pretty good one.
Tristan Wirfs would have won.
Yeah, absolutely. He's played amazing. I was really shocked at how well he's playing. I think he deserves a mention for Rookie of the Year. But of course, I have Chase and I have Jones higher. I don't have. Keep in mind, Jacksonville ends up being a 6-7 win team, and Lawrence keeps on putting up good numbers. He'll get mentioned, but I don't think I don't have him as my top 3 at this.
Lawrence isn't going to win it. I think Lawrence was. I think what it was the fame got to Lawrence, and obviously Lawrence being
he's got to realize this ain't Clemson. He
can't stare down. One of his biggest habits, and I was talking to Corey about this before the draft. I was like, bro,
he stares down his receivers.
He stares down his receivers.
Stares him down.
So bad.
Part of it is I just think Jacksonville's missing a lot of talent. Travis Etienne, his teammate at Clemson, I think him being out for the whole year, they were really needing Etienne, not for what he brings, but the simple fact that this is a slow team. He adds speed, and so having him on the field, I think, opens up a lot of other things. So him, being out this year and maybe out for his career, that Liz Frank injuries is a tough one. And Funk, to answer your question, player of the year, I don't have Cup there, but I probably should. Tyree Hill's a guy you may want to consider too. He's having a really good year, but of course I'm got my homer in me. But yeah, I didn't include Cup, but Brady and Stafford are I think MVP candidate.
Stafford has been phenomenal. I think he's single-handedly, like in his first half of a season with the Rams, he's been better than most of his career at Detroit, and that's been amazing to me.
Well, minus the Cardinals game.
Yeah, minus the Cardinals game.
He did not look great in that game.
But even you have to admit, he's done very well.
He's looking because he actually has talent around him.
I think he's definitely a candidate. I think he's definitely a candidate. Out of the players I have listed, I think it's Murray and Henry. Those are my 1-2, but I think you have to throw Prescott, Brady, Stafford, Josh Allen, and I didn't have Lamar Jackson in there, but I think you do have to include Lamar Jackson. So
let's go. Game's tied at 14-14. Sorry, I'm just
all
gonna
right,
keep updating you on that.
Alex is giving updates to Coastal Carolina, Appalachian State, and he's really wanting Coastal to win.
No, I do not. I want Coastal to lose. What?
I want to see Coastal go undefeated, and I want to see Cincinnati go undefeated, and I want both of those teams to play in the Final Four or whatever they call it. But you know what? Let's do this here. I'm going to start off here with Alex. AFC. What are the best? Give me the best teams in the AFC. All right,
Bills. That's a start.
Bills are start. Even though they lost to Tennessee, where do you have Tennessee?
Tennessee is a close third or second. I don't really have an official ranking for them.
Okay.
So
you have the Bills.
Yeah, I got the Ravens in there. That's not really I'm doing these based off of just personal opinion, not in any particular.
No, that's what I'm asking for. I just want your opinion of the AFC. So you still got the Bills with the Monday Night Football loss. They're the best team in the AFC.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got the Bills. Number 2 is Ravens or Titans.
I'd put the Titans above the Ravens.
Wow. Okay. So Bills.
I personally do not think the Baltimore Ravens can handle Derrick Henry. I don't think they can. That's going to be their downfall if they play them. Granted, I said the same thing in the playoffs and they lost. So it's like,
well, it's funny. They've both beaten each other in the playoffs. So it'll be very interesting to see who's round 3. But that's who you got right now.
Yeah, that's who I have right now. Just because of how he's been performing.
Okay. Is there a 4th team or?
The Chargers. I think, despite the fact that they lost to Baltimore, there's still a team you want to worry about, you know. Even last year, despite the fact that they did not have the best season, they gave the Chiefs the run for their money. They beat Cleveland, who's supposed to be one of the best teams in the AFC. Like, it's a team you need to think about. You know, you can't really knock them quite out yet. I don't think it's a team you can just call a pushover. So,
all right. Hey, Corey, so I know it's a little out of your wheelhouse here, talking about the AFC, but
we're going. Hey, I thought you were going to ask me about
hey, but listen, Alex has Bills, Titans, Baltimore, and the Chargers. What do you got?
I'm going to do early playoff predictions. I'm going to try and give the top 7. So the top 4 will be division winners, and then the last 3 will be the wild cards.
All right, who do you got winning the divisions here?
So I still got Buffalo steamrolling their division. I think that's a given.
I think so.
I got Tennessee winning probably the worst division in football right now. Trying to think who wins the North. I'm going to say Baltimore. I'm going to say Baltimore gets the North. The West is going to be the problem. Is it going to be the Chargers or is it going to be the Chiefs? It's one of those two.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So Chargers, Chiefs for the West. They're both going to be in the top 7. So basically 6 and 7 will be probably Cleveland. And I want to say New England will find a way to sneak in. I want to say, but don't think they will, honestly. I really don't.
You don't think New England's going to make the playoffs?
No.
Okay. I don't think they'll find. I don't think they'll
unless they magically get like one of the best defensive players before the trade deadline, which is not going to happen.
So it might come down. It might just be the AFC North and the AFC West as the wild cards. It might just be Kansas City or Chargers, whoever doesn't win the division, and then it might be Pittsburgh and Cleveland for the bottoms.
So you got Pittsburgh. You don't have Cincinnati. You have Pittsburgh over Cincinnati.
I think Cincinnati will fall apart sooner or later. Okay. I'm not sold on Cincinnati yet.
All right. Yet. Fair enough. And
like if they beat the Chiefs, I don't know if they play them this year, but if they beat the Chiefs, then I'll be a little bit more convinced.
I want to tell you Pittsburgh plays Kansas City at Arrowhead in December.
That's an L for Pittsburgh.
So
that's a fat L for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I believe that's correct here. So but the win the AFC West, you have a coin flip between the Chargers and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's fair enough. That's fair enough here. We'll get to some of these comments here. James, welcome, brother, man. It's great to hear from you. Jimmy, Goddamn, Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy, you've tuned into a great show. Later on in the show, I am going to reveal my Thursday night football bet. Now, keep in mind, I made this before it was ruled that Baker Mayfield is out. I made the bet.
Yeah, he dislocated his shoulder
Mayfield's
again.
out.
Do we know if Nick Chubb's playing? Very important for my fantasy team.
I'm sorry?
Is Nick Chubb playing in this game?
I believe Nick Chubb's out. Nick Chubb's going to be out for a couple weeks, it looks like.
So keep him on the bench. Got it.
And Kareem Hunt, I believe, is also out for Thursday.
So they're running on the Ernest. I think the Ernest Brown is what his name is. I forgot what his name is.
Actually, you know what? I didn't reveal this to either one of you guys, but right before the show started, I got a phone call, and it was they asked me if I wanted to play running back, and I turned them down. I didn't want to play on Thursday. So just see.
You sure they didn't
Totally
call
what
me? 'Cause
happened.
I got the same phone call. I think they called. No,
They're
I think
calling everybody.
it's funny because I think the Cardinals called Corey because I remember he was telling me about this. He was like, "Yeah, we kind of need a cornerback. You should come play for us." And I was like,
Yeah, we don't have any. Yeah, it was totally Steve Keim. We don't have any corners.
But Jimmy, yes, we are going to talk about Thursday Night Football, and yes, I did place a bet. I put an extra 100 into my bookie. I got the link there if you want to check it out. But keep in mind, I can't vouch for them as far as their policy on paying out because I don't know yet. Hopefully, I will win. I just put 25 down, but I'll reveal it right now. I reveal it. I got Denver to cover 3.5. So Cleveland's still a 3.5 point favorite. As of today, as of right now, what do I got? Cleveland is now they're a 2 point favorite, but I like Denver to win the game. So,
I mean, they might, considering they're rolling with Case Keenum at quarterback if Baker doesn't play.
Case Keenum is going to start. That's already been announced. So, even though Case Keenum's going to start, Cleveland is still favored. So as a special Thursday night action, something I put action on, I got Denver to cover. Now it's at 2, but I still think they're going to win the game. So my advice is to bet on Denver. But hey, man, Alex, Corey, what do you guys think?
I do not think Cleveland wins that game.
Well, now with Baker and their running game out, I think Denver gets it.
I don't think that's going to happen.
So
especially since Arizona we
have an agreement that
as well as missing
going to win.
They're also missing a bunch of their offensive line starters, so they're rolling with a lot.
They're missing their 2. I imagine they're still missing their 2 tackles because their 2 tackles were out for the Arizona game.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, the 2 tackles are still out, the 2 running backs are out, and the quarterback's out, but they're still.
I think Jarvis Landry is still out.
Yeah, Landry's still out.
Odell got hurt too.
DPJ.
I believe Odell is going to play, but I'm not 100% sure.
I think Anthony Schwartz gets starting reps this week, actually.
And Denver Gator, I probably put the kiss of death on your Broncos by betting on them, but like I said, I got 3.5. So even if Cleveland can win by a field goal or less, I'm still good. So. But that was my special Thursday night action for you, Jimmy. So yeah, go ahead, take Denver. One Pride is saying Detroit's not going to go 0-17. They're going to win. I don't know where or when, but they will get a win. They won't go win.
Yeah, they're not going to go 0-17. They ain't that bad. They're bad.
Tua doesn't go through his progressions. He's known as a one-read quarterback. And this is something I think Miami dropped the ball on because instead of starting him week 6, they should have kept him on the bench. They should have had him work in the film room. They should have had him learn from Fitzpatrick. I think this is what Washington will do. So he'll learn this. This is a skill you can learn, but I don't think it's a skill a rookie quarterback can learn on the fly. So, as of right now, yes, but this is something you can learn from.
Yeah.
They will win. I just don't know who, Mike. And Lions get a first pick quarterback. I don't think so, Mike. I think that they're going to get.
We talked about this last week.
Well, I mean, as of right now, if they have the number 1 pick in the draft, they'll take Thibodeau, the edge rusher out of Oregon. That's kind of a no-brainer, in my opinion, unless they're exceptionally high on the left tackle, and then you move Sewell back over to the right side, but I don't.
Don't they have another right tackle? Don't they have a right tackle though?
It was Sewell.
They only have like Taylor
left
Decker or
side
something.
because Decker got hurt, but he's supposed
he's
to come
been
back
injured.
in a few weeks. So,
Yeah, their tackles are not bad.
no, their
So-
offensive line's solid. So I don't think the first round, their very first pick, I don't think will be a quarterback. But their second first round pick, the one they get from the Rams, that could be a quarterback. And they could also trade up in the draft, get somebody else. They could move up in the first round. But their first pick right now, if they have the number 1 pick, I think it's Thibodeau. And I'd be shocked if they went another direction. So,
got to be somebody on the defensive side of the ball, in my opinion.
And One Pride 40 is not liking golf. Definitely not liking golf.
Well, I mean, we tried to tell you guys, but you didn't want to listen to us. So what do we know, right?
Yeah, and you took the biggest, like his massive ass contract. So now you can't get rid of him because you're gonna have a massive ass cap penalty.
You got to have him for one more year, but keep in mind you can still have him on the team and be a backup. But I think if you draft a quarterback, you could also get one in free agency too. So, Eagles,
Aaron Rodgers not going to that.
maybe the
Aaron
Bears.
Rodgers not going to
An 0-17 looks like a legit possibility right now. It's definitely a possibility. It's definitely a possibility, but I don't think it's going to happen. You're going to get a couple wins. So
You'll get one. You'll get one or two.
Yeah, you won't go on 17. I promise.
I mean, you had the Ravens on the ropes.
Either. I didn't know this. I actually thought that he was a smart kid, to be perfectly honest.
I feel like
But I think if he goes to Washington though, and I think if he sits behind Fitzpatrick for the rest of the year, then he'll be better than he was in Miami. But still, I think the jury's still out on Tua. I think it's way too early to write Tua off as a NFL starting quarterback.
I just thought about something. Going back to the Bills, it's perfect because it says Josh Allen says hello. It's perfect. Like even if the Bills lost to Josh Allen, they still have a semi-competent quarterback as a backup.
Yeah.
They have Mitch, don't they?
Mitch went off.
Mention Josh Allen as a MVP candidate.
Yeah, we mentioned
I
that.
thought we did. Absolutely, he's definitely in the mix. I don't have him as a front runner. I think it's a 1-2. I think it's a 1-2 race. I think it's Murray and Derrick Henry.
Murray and Henry right now.
I think it's got to be those two. I mean, if Henry hits 2,000 or breaks the rushing record. Now, keep in mind, it's funny because when Eric Dickerson set the rushing record, he didn't win MVP. But
no, CJ didn't win MVP when he had 2,000 rushing yards.
AP didn't win it when he got close, didn't he? I don't remember.
I thought AP did win it that year. I thought that was the year AP came back.
I think AP won it that year. I believe so. Somebody would have to educate me without using Google. I think he won it. I know for a fact Eric Dickerson didn't win it when he hit 2105.
I know AP has an MVP on his record.
Yeah,
I assume.
I'm pretty sure that was
2000.
I think it was when Madden 25 came out.
Yeah, and
he was a cover.
Was the year. Yeah, he won it that year. So that is true. He's with a very good offensive minded coach. That's
Sean McVay is a far superior coach,
and he's got weapons. I mean, Cooper Kupp's a really good receiver.
I got Tyler Higbee,
Robert Woods,
D-Jax. He's got D-Jax too.
Yeah,
D-Jax.
They have a really good.
Then,
I'm not saying
Van Jefferson's not bad.
Yeah, Van Jefferson.
Like even without like the running back game, like they've been pretty solid on offense.
Yeah, all the running backs are hurt.
Yeah, Cam Akers was it torn ACL or something like that?
Yeah, he's out for
it
a
was
year.
ACL.
You know better than I do. One Pride says our offense is handcuffed by golf. I blame it on your talent at wide receiver. I said before you may have the worst receiving core in the NFL, and
listen here. Hang on now. At least their receivers can catch the ball.
Yeah, he has Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah, I have no answer.
I'll tell you what. I always thought Nelson Aguilar could be a solid number 2. I understand Gianno Smith had the athleticism, but as of right now, Hunter Henry's kind of your go-to guy. Yeah. And a
lot of our signings have been underwhelming. Johnny Smith is one of them. Matt Judon has been phenomenal. You cannot change.
Yeah, Matt Judon's
been played awesome. He's played awesome. Funk, are you concerned that no? I'll be honest with you. I don't think the problems in Detroit are really as much golf related as you guys are putting on him. I mean, nobody's saying that he's an elite quarterback, but I think the issue's just you have a guy in that. Okay, I'm stealing this from Around the Sticks podcast with Daniel Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks. Quarterbacks, you have the truck and you have the trailer. All right. At his best, Goff is still a trailer. Now, I had Alex Smith in Kansas City. Loved Alex Smith. Absolutely loved him. One of my favorite players. I didn't want Mahomes. I'll admit it. I'm a Chiefs fan. Didn't want Mahomes. I'm the only one in the whole world. Alex Smith's a trailer. All right. I mean, he's not a guy who's going to, you could put the team on back. And that's not with Goff. But Goff has nothing. I mean, let's just take Kyler Murray, our front runner for MVP. You put him on Detroit, they may win, 2 games? 1? I mean, there's so many more problems with the Lions than with Goff. The talent base just needs to be increased overall.
The receivers are so bad.
Mm-hmm.
TJ Hawkinson's their best receiver. I honestly did not know who the receivers on the Lions were. I had no idea.
They have a kid, Cephas, who I watched play at Wisconsin. He's a.
And I think are they the ones who drafted Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Yeah,
ruined his career.
And ideally he's good. Ideally he improves on his rookie season,
but you gotta have more than that. You went from Marvin Jones and Kenny Galladay to Amon-Ra St. Brown and Quintez Cephas, really?
I've been saying that I think that the receiving core is just awful, and this is something that's going to change. There's going to be some additions in free agency. A matter of fact, I think one of the additions that Detroit will make in free agency as soon as free agency starts, and this will break my heart, but I think this will happen, is Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger. I think will end up in Detroit. And it'll break my heart, but Kansas City can't re-sign him. He wants to be the.
They can't.
Not with
that big ass contract that Mahomes has. No,
because his contract's up, and he wants to be the NFL's highest paid safety. And Kansas City has so many holes they can't afford it, and it's going to take like a 5-year, $90 million contract, which Detroit would have no problem writing. Kansas City can't. So I actually expect him either to go to. Matter of fact, it wouldn't surprise me if he goes to New England if they can afford him. But I could see a team like Detroit just saying, "Look, we'll make you the NL's highest paid safety."
Hey, Tyron, you can just come back here. 32 available.
No.
I think New England would be an interesting place because Belichick would get very creative with him. When he was with the Texans for that 1 year, they didn't really use him creatively. In Kansas City, they use him right, but they have so many problems in Kansas City defense. So I don't see a way that we can re-sign him, even if we wanted to. But as of right now, no, I think that he'll be. I think he'll be either a Patriot or a Lion, but more than likely a Lion. Jimmy says I was high on the Chargers, but I have my dog. Let me tell you something about the Chargers. They can't stop the run. I like Eckler, but he's not really an every down running back. There's a lot of holes in the Chargers. There's a lot of holes in the Chargers. I'm a Chiefs fan, obviously, but don't write off the Raiders just yet. There's a lot of good things going on with the Raiders.
Derek Carr had a bounce back game.
Carr's actually a guy we took. I think all of us took off the list, but I still think he's a legit MVP candidate. He should be considered. He's having his best year in the pros. So, but the AFC, I still think if Kansas City beats the Titans, I think that they're the team to beat because their schedule gets really easy.
Yeah.
He's not, but I have him on fantasy. You're talking about Chubb, and I'm behind on comments, so I apologize. Pride, I said back before the draft, I'm going to stand by it today. Holmes talked up Goff because his confidence was shattered. I'm more of a build him up than I really believe in him. Okay, I mean, it makes sense. You have bigger problems than Goff, though. I mean, you really do. And then Denver Gator, there's so many injuries. Denver's still an underdog. I expect Denver to win this game.
That's probably a serious L for Cleveland. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, Jimmy, this is it opened up as Denver being a 5-point dog. It's now 2. I think it's going to drop even further. I got 3.5. So this is definitely a game I do advise you betting on. Go ahead, take Denver with all these injuries. And Von Miller's been public that he's been public. He's going to have a big game. I think he's going to come through. So Denver should win, but leave it to the Broncos. Well, I did give him the kiss of death. I did put action on him, and I've been off this year. So, yes, he did. If they pick 2, it'll be Hamilton. If
Thibodeau doesn't go 1.
Yeah, if Thibodeau's available, it will be Thibodeau. If it's not Thibodeau, I could see it be Hamilton. But I'm telling you right now, One Pride, I really wouldn't
be surprised
if before the draft you guys signed a Honey Badger. And if that's the case, you may want to go in another direction. The kiss of death for the Broncos was Vanilla, Shermer, and Fangio being out of touch with the whole team. Need to win. Or I think Fangio will survive, but Shermer's the wrong answer. Keep in mind, Jerry Jeudy, when he comes back, is really going to add something. I like Sanders. Sutton's having a great year. Noah Fant has all sorts of talent. But when Jeudy comes back, that's really going to help the offense. I'm very high on Jerry Jeudy. And I agree with you, Denver Gator, that he looked much better in the Chiefs uniform. Funk, Decker, I think, will be gone very soon in a trade. It may be after the season. It wouldn't surprise me also if a team like Pittsburgh offers you some trade capital and gets him right away. I actually could see Decker going to Pittsburgh as soon as he's healthy, if he's healthy before the trade deadline. So I will say Campbell's getting pissed. I don't know about that, but you're stuck with him for this year. So.
The coach is not the problem.
No,
the coach is the answer.
Problem, and I think you have bigger problems in Goff. If you're a Lions fan and you're saying the problems with Jared Goff, we got a new quarterback, we're an 8-9 win team. No, we've been telling you this, that you don't have a 7-10 win team. This is a bad team, but again, the foundation is very solid for the future. You're going to have a future. And the Lions front office should pray the Eagles fall in love with someone and want to move up. That's definitely a possibility. Definitely a possibility. What do Lions fans think about MCDC calling out Goff? Does he hear the call to action or let it get into his head he's mediocre at best? I mean, that's an interesting debate, but I mean, I think you're stuck with him. So, he's holding him accountable for it. I never believed in Goff, so I'm not about to now. They're playing in LA this week. He may look a little better, but I'm not holding on. I'll be honest. If I'm somebody who's mad, I'm mad. If I'm Stafford, I'm looking at this game like I really want to take it to you guys. I'm not looking at Goff saying that.
Give him sympathy.
Yeah.
It's like what Corey likes to do in Madden when he puts DeAndre Hopkins and JJ Watt against the Texans. Oh, let me just turn the sliders on 100%. DeAndre Hopkins going to have 600 yards receiving. JJ Watt
300.
24
I never go 600.
Mike, I'm using my bookie, and also put a link in the description if you're interested. But I mean, the Browns are still favored in this game, and I think Denver wins outright. However, I took 3.5. So my bookie has 2. By kickoff, it wouldn't surprise me if it's 1 or a pick 'em. So, all right. And for what it's worth, I like action on Sutton tomorrow. I think he gets a good chunk of yards, 6+ receptions. That's actually a great bet. I didn't even think about that. And I haven't put today into prop bets. I'm just going to take my 25. But no, I actually like that as well. He's played phenomenal. That's actually really smart, real smart bet. And before I'm going to get to all the comments here, I'm a little behind, but I also want to talk about the NFC. And Corey, I'm going to start with you. Now, we know as a Cardinals fan, and the Cardinals being the only undefeated team, are they the best team in the NFC?
I don't see how they're not when they destroy the Rams, the Titans, and the Browns. I don't see how they're not the best team in the
Yeah,
NFC.
they've beaten good teams. I can't really.
I saw on Instagram somewhere today that someone said we had the easiest schedule in the league. I'm sitting here like we play in the NFC West. That's not there's no way that's an easy schedule. We like I'm gonna do top 7 again. So the Rams won't be in the top because they're not gonna win. It's division winners.
Okay.
I got Arizona winning the West. The East, I sadly got Dallas, overrated bunch. South, I got Tampa. North, I got Green Bay. Green Bay's just going to walk away with that division.
Well, let me ask you this, and this might be this is going to be tough. So I'm kind of putting you on the spot here. I got your 4 division winners. Now the Rams will be the 5 seed.
Yeah, Rams will be 5 seed because they'll have a good record.
And that's a tough. So whoever they play, they would play the 4 seed. Who would they play in the first round? I know it's tough. I'm not going to ask to give you 1, 2, 3, and 4, but we got Arizona as 1. Who's number 4? And I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
I think it's either Green Bay or Dallas.
Okay.
I don't think Tampa Bay finishes with that few of that many losses.
Okay.
The last 2 teams, I'm thinking it gets murky around this. Maybe Minnesota. Maybe Minnesota can sneak in. Aside from that, the Seahawks are not getting in because Russ is hurt. 49ers, I don't know what the hell's happening with them. Panthers might get in because they had 3-0, but after 3 straight losses, probably not.
Depends on how that defense is now with Gilly.
Yeah, they have Gilmore now, so that defense could probably carry them for a good while.
Then don't forget the Henderson trade. I think the longer he's there, the better he'll be.
Yeah. So I think the 7th seed might be someone's going to sneak in who doesn't deserve to be in the NFC because the NFC doesn't have that many great teams. Because I think it's just whoever has the best record who doesn't win a division, probably just going to be the 7th seed because you got the Rams probably going to be the 5th seed. Or the first loser of the NFC West is going to be the 5th seed.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
6th seed would probably be somebody from the North, and the last person is just throw a dart somewhere and you get a playoff team because the NFC gets really murky around this area.
Well, I mean, because I got action on Seattle over 10, so hopefully it's the Seahawks. So
they lost Russ, so probably not.
He's not out for the year. He's not out for the year. And Geno Smith's going to start playing really good now.
I mean, if he can't beat Pittsburgh, there's a problem.
Well, I got Pittsburgh over 8.5, so I need Pittsburgh to get.
It solely depends on how they do while Russ is gone. Because
and by the way, this comment Funk has, I could see this happening. I could see Pittsburgh getting Decker pre-deadline. But Alex, NFC, man, what do you got?
So atop the NFC, as much as I God tierly hate it, is the Arizona Cardinals. I think obviously they're the only undefeated team in the league. They've beaten good teams. That's their biggest thing. They've beaten good teams. It's not like, you've had a Pittsburgh schedule from last year where you beat
last year.
Where you beat easy battered teams. No, Arizona has played like a legit good amount of good teams. So I can't really, decline their ranking here. They're definitely in there. The Rams are in that conversation as well for the playoffs. Despite they won't win their division unless Arizona pulls in Arizona and loses half of their games next season, or not next season, for the rest of the season, which they probably won't.
All right, it's a little weird that you guys are agreeing there. I was really expecting.
We never agree on this, but I can't deny facts. Like, it's not something I can
just
deny. I can't deny that. Minnesota has potential. Tampa Bay is obviously one of the teams that's probably going to get in there. Green Bay is another guy or another group of people.
You have Green Bay winning the division, or is Minnesota make it a challenge?
Green Bay is winning that division. They're gonna
okay.
But I do think Minnesota has the potential to be in the playoffs, depending on how they do the rest of this season. Panthers also have potential. Like, there's teams that have potential to get into the playoffs. That's what it is. But it gets murky, and it's the same with the AFC. Like, granted, we have a few better teams, but like it gets murky when you start thinking about wild card teams, because really, especially at this point in the season where there's a lot of teams with the same record, it's really anybody's game. It just depends on how they play.
It really sucks that like the NFC West, the two other favorites were the NFC West teams.
Yeah.
And San Francisco doesn't know what they're doing at quarterback, and Russell Wilson got hurt, or else Seattle would be the 7th seed, and it wouldn't even be a problem. But it's tough that those teams are not in now, because now it's just who's going in. Who gets a playoff game that doesn't deserve it.
This is like the one time we'll agree on anything related to the NFC. I swear to you. I will put money on it. This is the one time we'll ever agree.
Well, it is kind of funny that both you guys have both the Rams and Minnesota as wild cards, and I mean there's no just those two. I think both you guys also mentioned Carolina, as a possibility,
solely because of their defense.
Yeah,
offense not at all, just because of the defense.
Well, after week 1, I would have thought the Saints would be in there, and I still think the Saints could be in there because I think the Saints could have.
See, week one, we still thought Drew Brees was the quarterback of the Saints, but no, it's Jameis Winston. Yeah, he had Tampa Bay be 8-8 or 7-9, and Brady comes in and takes them to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I still think the Saints are going to be interesting. I'm not even ruling out Chicago just because of the defense. I still think Seattle could sneak in. Maybe. I say maybe.
They have to win out because I don't see them winning a game with Geno Smith. They have to win out after that.
Very interesting game against the Saints. That's going to be a really fun game, Seattle and the Saints.
I think the Saints get that.
I mean, with my bet, I'm really hoping Seattle, but
depends how Jameis plays. It really just depends on Jameis.
I mean, he's always had the talent. I'm not convinced that the Saints are going to go with Jameis long term.
No, they're not.
It'll be something very interesting to see what the Saints do because, I mean, they're in a bad cap situation, so I could see the Saints reaching for a quarterback.
Yeah.
Pete, welcome.
They wanted Mac Jones, but they couldn't get him.
Yeah, they did want Mac Jones. Pete, man, it's good to see you, man. I have to admit, I watched your Hurricanes. I was very impressed with your quarterback. I don't know much about him. All I know is that's an NFL quarterback. Your Miami Hurricanes NFL quarterback. Matt Ryan, 2-point underdog, smells like easy money to me. My bookie has 2.5. They've been playing better with the injuries that are going on. I actually kind of agree with that. I don't have action on that yet, but I might if I can get 3. Probably right now I'm seeing 2.5. But yeah, they're a dog at Miami, and I wouldn't be surprised if Atlanta wins outright. So you got kicked off the Big O for saying that Grier stinks. Now you agree. That's kind of funny. So it's kind of funny. So let me ask you this here: as far as both you guys have Arizona at the 1 seed, even though Arizona's the best record, and let's say they win the West, are they really going to a Super Bowl? Is this a Super Bowl caliber team?
It depends on if they can get through Tampa Bay. If they can't, oh boy.
Yeah, see, I will admit I've been very, very impressed with Arizona, but I still have Tampa Bay as the best team in the NFC. Then I have Arizona. Then I have the Rams. I'm still not sold on either Green Bay or Dallas, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I mean, Green Bay's won 5 in a row. I actually love what they did. They went ahead and signed Merciless today, which was smart. They signed Jalen Smith. So both those guys are possible starters on this defense. Which
they're going to be starters.
And
their
then
starters are horrible at linebacker.
Yeah, I mean, so adding those two guys, I thought was a really, really smart move. So But I'm still not sold on them, and I'm not sold on Dallas either. I've watched Dallas play a couple times. I mean, I know the record's good, but
They haven't played anybody.
I'm not seeing them as a team that I fear in the NFC. I really think it's those three, and I think everybody else is just a notch below.
It's funny because like every time, like because Corey and I have played multiple what's called franchises in Madden, and every single time he'll simulate so the Cardinals be in the playoffs, but they have to face Tampa Bay, and I know they have to face Tampa Bay because I look and I'll be like doing something, and I was
because
like,
we always lose to Tampa Bay.
See you later. Have a nice day. And I'm like, oh well, he's facing Tampa Bay in the playoffs. Well, there you go. So if
anybody joined your franchise yet, no. I don't play myself.
No.
So
it's
I know there's a few Madden players here.
Yes.
I know for a fact Pete and Mike aren't, but I was positive one tried played Madden, and I know
play Madden. Please let me know.
I know Luke G does, and I haven't seen Luke for a while. I haven't talked to him, but
Luke is hiding. Luke is not happy.
He has a great show, and during the draft season, I'm going to pick his brain about what the Lions are going to do. But I know One Pride 40 is banking on Hamilton. I'm telling you right now, I think that you're going to end up with the Honey Badger in free agency, and if you do that, then safety's not going to be a priority. So that's what I see. And if you pick number one, you definitely have to pick pass rusher over a safety. So
Thibodeau's got to be the number one pick. There's no way he can't be the number one pick.
Hamilton?
No, Thibodeau.
You don't think Thibodeau's going to be number one?
No, I'm saying he has to be the number one. There's no way he can't. Okay. He has to be the number one. There's no way someone can justify passing on him.
The only way he's not the number one, barring injury, is if somebody falls in love with that Alabama left tackle. That's the only way. Somebody would have to fall hit.
So the only way he doesn't go number one is maybe if Jacksonville has a number one pick because they need offensive tackle help pretty badly.
Yeah, they
Cam Robinson's probably not going to be there. Jawan Taylor hasn't worked out.
That's what I'm thinking. And he's the Draft Network, I think, ranks him as like number 4 or number 5. That makes perfect sense.
I think he's higher than that, actually. I know Thibodeau's 1.
Yeah, Thibodeau's 1, and I believe Hamilton's 2. And we're going to do a ton of draft stuff. And Pete, with your comment, is if Howard and Byron Jones are out, put your entire house on Atlanta. Pete, I might have to take your word for it. I mean, I got Atlanta as a 2.5-point dog. And Atlanta's been playing better, and it's just a matter of time before that defense gets turned around. So, yeah. I don't know who Big O is. But, hey, by the way, you can always email me if you don't follow me on social media. You can always email me, but I don't know who that is. So, Seattle. Yeah, Jimmy,
They got to get through Arizona and the Rams.
I need
not
10.
to mention the rest of their schedule.
Yeah, I'm writing that one as just a big loss, but I got Pittsburgh at 8.5. I still got a chance with Pittsburgh, and yeah, my San Francisco bet under 10 is looking really good. Is it possible? Yeah, sure, it's possible. Absolutely,
it's possible. Yeah,
it's possible. Happen. Mike says no. Pete comes in talking trash. Arizona is going to flop off soon. Book it. Corey, do you have a response from my boy Pete here?
So clearly you have not watched the Cardinals play. Clearly you are someone out of touch. Like Sports Illustrated ranked the Cardinals as the 7th best team in the NFL. Wow. I mean, we've beaten. I know we're not going undefeated. That's not happening. I can't sit here and say we're going to go undefeated because we're not.
So Pete's 72 Dolphins are ready.
Yeah.
Man, so nobody cares about the 72 Dolphins anymore.
They're still going to be the only undefeated team.
I don't care.
You're not. You know what? I still watch it when they pop the champagne. I like it.
He's a Patriots fan, so he doesn't like it.
Like the only thing that I recognize the 72 Dolphins for is the fucking commercial that they were in with the NFL 100 thing. That's the only time I will pay attention to them because they were in there.
What's his name? Larry Zonko is a very entertaining character. He used to do a lot of commercials. Now he just fishes in Alaska, and then once Arizona loses, he'll be on TV, and he's got his champagne chill.
Even if the poor little Sun Whales get Deshaun Watson, okay, they're still not going to go to the playoffs. It's just not going to happen. You go ahead and get that thought right out of your head, bud. Go ahead and seal that deal. Yeah, top 20 pick. There you go.
Well, that's actually an interesting question. Let's say Deshaun Watson goes to Miami, which looks like it's going to happen. How soon will it be before he starts? Does he start right away? Did they just put him in there?
Well, he's still on the exempt list, so I don't even think he'll play this year, barring like with all this legal stuff swirling around him. I don't think he even plays this year. But once he starts, he's going to win games just because he's Deshaun Watson.
Let me ask you this here. Let's say he's off the exempt list and he's eligible to play this year. Does Miami even play him, or do they just say, "Hey, look, we'll just go 1-16 and the Houston Texans get the number 1 pick," or do they trade future picks so they can have the number 1 this year? I mean, there's a lot of different scenarios, but I think even if Watson is off the list, I don't even think he plays this year.
I think he'll play eventually. I don't think he'll start right away because he needs to learn the playbook and the receivers and stuff. But like, you can't just have him sit on the bench. He led the league in passing last year. You can't do that.
I mean, it's a different offense. It'll be interesting. I mean, well, let me ask you this here. I mean, do you guys agree that this is going to happen? It's just a matter of time.
Yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, 3-way trades don't happen a lot.
All right. Yeah, it looks good. Once it's official, I may come out with a video depending on my schedule and everything. But I think it makes a lot of sense for all 3 teams, to be perfectly honest. I'm more curious about the trade compensation between Miami and Houston because, I mean,
Houston's going to get a lot of first-round picks.
They're going to get a lot of draft capital, but do they get players? Do they get next year's picks? Or do they get? I say next year. I'm sorry. I mean 2023 picks, where Miami has 2. I mean, there could be a lot. I mean, Luke should be hiding and eating. There's always be a soft spot for Luke G. He's had me on his show twice, and I got nothing but love for Luke. And I
Pause.
He was really hoping hard. He had some homerism, but that's okay. I mean, that's okay.
What the fuck? Okay. Sorry.
No.
Sorry. I'm playing Madden in a solo franchise, and I've played a season rebuilding the Detroit Lions. Fun fact: we went to the playoffs. We were 11-6. We were 11-6, or no, we were 14-3. And I'm in the offseason now, looking at the free agents. Apparently, Tyree and Saquon Barkley are free agents.
That's a possibility. With Tyreek Hill, the Chiefs are actually working on giving him because he signed a 4-year extension, I think 2 years ago or last year, but they're still working on it. I mean, the Chiefs have some serious salary cap issues. That's kind of the reason why Tyrann Mathieu is going to be a free agent. And I think, to be honest, when you talk about a knee biter, I mean, Tyrann Mathieu is kind of the player that you're looking at. That's why I think that Detroit will overpay and end up getting him. And that's kind of why I think you sign Tyrann Mathieu. You don't draft a player in the top 5 to play safety. That's just my opinion. I know you need to, but it's just, you don't want to take one in the top 5 and then spend 90, 80, 90, maybe even $100 million. So Luke has eaten some crow. He admitted he was wrong about golf and said everything I said was wrong with golf is true. You watch more Lions than I have. I think the problem is just more talent, especially at the wide receiver position, because you have I still say the Lions have the worst receiving core in the National Football League. And I think it's the worst receiving core by a big margin. I mean,
Houston's not much better, but I mean, yeah, Houston always has some guys.
Your Patriots, yeah. I mean, but Nelson Aguilar is easily number 1 on the Lions. So,
which is not a good thing to say. It's not good. It's not good.
Pride, late first round Battle Orsini should be available. Listen.
Both of them are safeties.
We're gonna talk a ton of drafts.
Jordan Battle's from Alabama. I have not watched much of that other safety.
I haven't had a chance to watch either one of those guys. Bubba Bolden from Miami or Dax Hill.
Oh no, Daxton Hill easy. Bubba Bolden's horrible.
I will say this: bad. Whoever that, I wish if one of you Miami guys, let me know a little bit more. I think his name is. I know his last name was Van Dyke. That Miami quarterback that's an NFL quarterback. And then I watched Oklahoma TCU. I should put money.
Caleb Williams not letting go of that job anytime soon.
Oh, dude, no, I would bet money he's going to win the Heisman next year, especially if they're playing the Big 12.
Depends what Anthony Richardson does for Florida, because Anthony Richardson's looked so much better than Emory Jones, but Dan Mullen just refuses to start Anthony Richardson.
No,
so it depends what they do.
That would be interesting, but I'm telling you right now that Oklahoma quarterback's that. I watched enough. I only watched. That was the first game I watched of him, but I watched plenty of Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray. He's better than Baker. He's not as good as Kyler, but both won Heismans. So,
I mean, he's easily better than Spencer, and Spencer was supposedly the Heisman this year, and now he's out of a job.
He's starting to turn into a Johnny Manziel in college football. All talk, no skill.
If he comes out this year, he's not. I don't even think he gets picked.
No,
he won't. If he's smart, he transfers to a school and
don't come to that. No, we ain't starting you. Absolutely not.
No, I mean he won't come back to Oklahoma. But I mean, there's several college teams that he could go to and he could start and kind of resurrect his career. I mean, take a look at Jalen Hurts. I mean, Jalen Hurts, he got benched. He went to Oklahoma, ended up being a second-round pick, and I watched Rattler play a few times. I don't like Rattler's game at all, but I understand why there was some hype about him. But I've never been very high on the kid.
I think the weapons around him are just that good. They have Kennedy Brooks. They have two more receivers that are probably going to go in the first round of next year's draft.
That Oklahoma team is really good. Okay. The only way that happens is if, by the way, if you don't know, Arizona's coached by Herm Edwards and Marvin Lewis is also helping out. So they got a lot of NFL. Arizona, I love Herm Edwards. I have a major.
It depends what JT Daniels does.
Exactly.
Depends if he goes out.
Yeah, they have a quarterback at Arizona State who's a junior who, if he comes back his senior year, he will be a dark horse Heisman candidate. He's a really good quarterback. He's a really good quarterback. But if he leaves early, which I think would be a major mistake, but let's say he leaves early, then Rattler to Arizona State would make a lot of sense. Dan, you might be able to pick Luke Sprain about the draft for the Lions around week 10. It sounds like after the season ends, after the playoffs are over, we're going to do a lot of draft stuff. I'm going to do a lot of draft videos. This is going to be a great draft because so many teams have multiple picks, and we'll go into the extensive detail. And I definitely will hit Luke up. Luke does extensive draft breakdown. I love Luke's draft breakdown. So, do I see a Lions upset in Seattle?
Didn't you ask this already?
Yep. Well, I mean, listen, the Lions are going to win a game 2-3, but hopefully, everybody here wants Seattle to go on a win streak. Everybody wants to see Seattle start winning.
Not at all. Not at all.
And Corey is really on board Seattle winning like at least 11 games. So, Dan, on paper, you can
as long as they lose two more, and then I'll be happy.
I need 10. I'll take a push. But, Dan, on paper, you can say it's not golf, but if you watch the games, you would understand golf is a huge problem. I'm not able to bash wide receivers because they are getting open. He won't throw it to them. I mean, look, Funk, you watch more of the Lions than I do, but going into the season, you knew that you were getting a downgrade in quarterback. quarterback. I mean, you knew that you're going from Stafford to Goff, and nobody was sitting here going, hey, the Lions are getting a better quarterback. You had to know that. And then you lose your, top 3 receivers on top of that?
Marvin Jones, Kenny Galladay. Did they lose somebody else?
Yeah, they lost Amendola.
Yes.
So you lose your top 3 receivers, you lose a better quarterback. Yeah, you're in, and I kept on thinking that Dorsey was going to make a move to add a veteran wide receiver. Dorsey was one who orchestrated OBJ going to Cleveland, but I mean they didn't do it. I kept on expecting for somebody to go to the Lions, either draft, free agent, trade something, and it didn't happen. And I thought that was a major mistake. I understand, but you have to understand, Goff, even at his very best, is what's called the trailer. I mean, you got to have everything else right in order for it to succeed with Goff. Same thing with Alex Smith, and I love Alex Smith. So, but I've been saying this since week 1. I also think that the Lions are going. They have a young offensive line. They could just be going 1, 2, 3, just throw the ball away, do 1, 2, 3, like check down. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, he's your guy for the rest of the year. I mean, you don't have any other options. So, what's wrong with Bubba Bolden? I haven't had a chance to watch too much, but I am going to watch. I next time.
Man can't tackle.
Watch him. I'm sorry.
He can't tackle. His football IQ is questionable, especially for a safety. Ball skills are kind of iffy, up and down. I don't like Bubba Bolden at all. I really don't like Bubba Bolden.
Okay.
In a strong safety class, I think Bubba Bolden's like a 4th round pick.
A 4th?
4th or 5th,
right.
Day 3. I don't see him going day 2, or definitely not 1.
Well, I think a lot of it will have to do with the combine, and I'm looking forward to the combine. The way I've done it in the past was that right after the combine, I start with my first video. And last year I skipped Jacksonville, and some Jacksonville fan said I was disrespectful.
You were going to pick Trevor Lawrence. No reason to make a 10-minute video.
Exactly.
You were going to pick Trevor Lawrence. Move on with the day.
Exactly, and that was my point. And like I said, some Jacksonville fan tried to tell me I'm going to disrespect this team. It's like, no, I'm not going to disrespect your team, but I'm also going to make a video at 25.
You knew what the hell Jacksonville was going to do. There's no point.
Exactly, and that's why I started off with 2. And then, whoever picks number 1, if it's a no-brainer who's going at number 1, I won't do a video. But if there's
this year, I don't think you can do that unless it's just Kayvon Thibodeau blows up the combine, which you probably will.
No, I'll probably. I'm as of today, I plan on doing a video at number 1, and I'll do 1 through 32, and then of course I'll have to make videos because after the combine there'll be about 2-week period, then free agency starts. So once free agents are signed, I'll have to change some of those picks. So after the combine to the draft, I'll probably have about 35, 36 videos coming out. So, I mean, we're going to talk a ton of draft stuff. I haven't had a chance to really dive too much into it, but I have watched more college football this year than I have in the past. I mean, I will say this. I don't see a Heisman favorite. The best player I've seen so far is that Oklahoma quarterback, and I can't even think of his name right now. But that's the best player I've seen in college football. Second best.
Cam Williams?
Something like that.
I don't want to say Jameson Williams. That's a wide receiver from Bama.
Yeah. The best player
I think it's Cam Williams. I don't remember. I don't know his first name. I know his last name is Williams.
All right. He's the best player that I've seen so far. And he won't win the Heisman because he's, just started.
Heisman favorite?
Kyjon Robinson, I think that's his name, the running back out of Texas is
Bijan Robinson
player. If they were, I don't even know if Texas is ranked anymore. If they won one of those games that they beat Oklahoma, or who else did they lose to that they had a big lead on, then he would be a Heisman front runner. He maybe
Oklahoma State. They lost to both Oklahoma teams.
Yeah, they win one of those games. He's probably a Heisman front runner, maybe the best player in college football. I can't wait till he's eligible. He's a true sophomore, but he may be a Heisman candidate. I have no idea. You guys would have to tell me because I have no idea who would be a Heisman candidate right now. I don't know who's number one.
Honestly, I don't see anybody. It might be a receiver again. I don't see anybody.
He was number one, and he'll probably get up there. But after the Texas A&M loss, he's dropped off, and I don't have him on there. And the reason why is that I'm more impressed with the wide receivers than I am with the quarterback, and it's just because we've seen so many good quarterbacks out of Oklahoma, or I'm sorry, out of Alabama. But by the time the season's over with, he may be the number one. As of right now, I don't have him on there, but I don't have a favorite. I really don't. But I'll tell you, the best player I've seen is that Oklahoma quarterback, and it's Caleb Williams. Is that it?
Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
Caleb. Yeah, he's the best quarterback. He's the best player I've seen. And then the second one's the running back out of Texas. I think it's Kaijon. Anyway, he's a first round running back, and a lot of people say you don't want to draft a running back in the first round. This kid's going in the first round, and he deserves to be in the first round.
Next year's running back class is really good. There's a lot of running backs next year.
Yeah, it is. There's going to be a lot of running backs. I have no idea about the Michigan State running back. I have yet to watch him play. I promise one pride I am going to watch him play. 10-step drops. Okay. If your quarterback is taking 10-step drops, that's in the offensive game plan. And that's a problem.
That's a problem in of itself. Before anything else,
a coaching problem.
10-step drops. That's a problem.
That's a coaching problem. That's not a golf problem. Because if that's the case, what he should be doing is just catch and release. I mean, he needs to be taking 3 to 5 step drops, even if you have a great offense.
Shit, I can take a 3 to 5 step drop back and be fine.
You need to do that. I mean, matter of fact, that's a lot of what the Patriots were doing. 4 or 5 wide receiver sets, quick drop, quick release. And that's what you want to do. A 10-step drop, that's a coaching issue. And I think that there's going to be Campbell's safe, all right? But your offensive and defensive coordinators are not, all right? Your offensive and defensive coordinators are not. And if you're taking a 10-step drop, then you have a problem with your offensive coordinator, not your quarterback. Lions have so many injuries as well on defense and O-line, no depth at receiver, and I think overall morale is low. After the Bengals lost, I don't see how they play. They will get a win, Jimmy. They will get a win. So
they'll get one.
Top 2 wide receiver and Danny. I got 1 TD in my first game against Arizona, then stayed inbounds at the end of regulation. Never got in the end zone again in 32 games. Amendola, Danny was 3 on paper only. Okay, but bottom line, you missed one, and you're missing wide receiver talent, and you had to downgrade in quarterback. So yeah.
Point is, Danny Amendola would probably be your number 1 receiver this year if he was still there.
That's not saying a lot.
Are you saying the Lions made a mistake to pass on Justin Fields? One pride. Can you clarify that?
Well, I mean, if Penei Sewell falls to you got to take him.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I don't think it was a mistake. I think that you got your left tackle the future, especially with the injury. From what you tell me, Sewell looks like your franchise left tackle. Okay, so your offensive line's intact. You have a Pro Bowl tight end. You have a good player in Swift at running back. Okay, like I said, you're building the foundation. You have to keep Goff for 2 years no matter what. So if Fields, let's say the Lions picked Fields, he's probably not going to play. And what's he going to do? Is he really going to get you a couple wins? If you're saying Fields should have been a Lion, I'm going to say no.
Well, if Fields is going to be a Lion, you don't have 2 first-round picks this year and next year. Because then you don't have the Rams pick. Because the Rams then don't trade Jared Goff there.
Yeah, I think personally, I thought that Fields was a guy that would be best suited to sit for a year, but the Bears are desperate right now. You know what? Your Bryce Young is in the conversation. And then Mike, you're right. And the reason why he's not a Heisman candidate is because unless you're Alex, you haven't watched him play. Of course, Alex is really cheering very hard for Coastal Carolina right now.
No, I'm not. I want them to lose.
He's for those of you who don't know, Alex is attending Appalachian State. He is a 35-year-old freshman.
Huh?
So yeah. So he's a 35-year-old freshman living in the dorms at Appalachian State. The cool thing is he's hitting on 18-year-olds. So
what? Okay. Awesome. Hang on now. Now wait a minute.
Anyway, he's a big Appalachian State fan. So I'm kind of busting his chops. But Mike, you're right. The Coastal Carolina quarterback should be a Heisman candidate. Absolutely. I haven't watched him play.
He plays for Coastal Carolina. You can't expect to win a Heisman when you play for that school.
It's a golf issue. I think it's a lot more than golf. I'm telling you right now, you could put Kyler Murray, Josh Allen. What did Matt Stafford? We talked about Matt Stafford being an MVP candidate. What did Matt Stafford do there? He lost plenty of games. It's more than just your quarterback. But I mean, to say that golf's the answer, no. But I don't think you guys were really looking at golf.
You can't blame one person for a centralized issue. It's not just him. Like, yes, your offensive line it's not bad. Okay, it's not bad, but it's not the best in the league. No way. You don't have the receivers. Some of the coaching calls are just terrible for Goff and put him in shitty situations. Like,
you don't have the defense to back him up.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just put this entirely on Goff. It's not.
Denver Gator, I'm gonna spit out my coffee.
Oh,
yes,
God.
Alex is Van Wilder.
Well, App State just scored, so that they should be going up 21-20.
Just so you know, Alex is enjoying hitting on college freshmen at 35.
I am 20 years old. Don't listen to him.
He's at least 35.
Wait a minute.
And he's failing college.
If I'm 35, that means Corey's 35 because he's older than me. We got something to talk about here, Corey. You've been lying about
by a couple of months. By a couple of months, I'm older than Alex.
I was not aware of this. I'll take your guys' word for it, but if you're going to sit here and say that golf's the problem, it's a much bigger issue.
Oh no, was he out of bounds?
And at the start of the year, Tyrell Williams was number one. Danny have had to battle with St. Brown for snaps, and you could probably find a video of Goff getting him decapitated. And I have no idea what the score is. What is the score of Coastal Carolina? And by the way,
Coastal Carolina 20, App State 14.
The Coastal Carolina quarterback, is he putting up video game numbers?
No.
I don't think so. I don't think he's having a crazy day. App State's staying in this game. App State's making plays.
For those of you that don't know, App State, I think was ranked in the low 20s, so they were a ranked team. They're currently not ranked to the best of my knowledge.
No, they're unranked.
Yeah,
Coastal Carolina's 14th, App State's unranked.
Yeah, so I mean, even if Coastal Carolina goes undefeated, they probably won't even sneak into the top 10. But hopefully he does get some Heisman votes. He does deserve it. He does deserve it.
You got to catch that.
But
you got to catch that. Man.
These guys are really. I should have DVR'd it. I didn't even know it was good. The Lions aren't good, but Goff is the trash can QB. He's balling. I should have DVR'd the game, Mike. I really should have. You guys tell me, do they play Liberty this year?
Do you guys play Liberty?
I don't. I think we do.
Because that's where Malik Willis is.
That's going to be a primetime game. So, but I mean, here's the good news is that you have the draft capital to pick, and the best part is that you can pick a quarterback in 2023. And originally, I was talking about the Clemson quarterback. Now I'm going to talk about the Oklahoma quarterback. this guy's going to win a Heisman Trophy.
I don't think he comes out next year though, because isn't he a true freshman right now?
Freshman, no, he won't come out next year. He'll come out in 2 years from now.
Yeah, he'll come out 2 years from now. So he'll kind of be like the Trevor Lawrence of Oklahoma.
Yeah, he'll have 2 first-round. The Lions have 2 first-round picks this year, and in 2023. So
what are you doing?
The quarterback draft in 2023 could have the kid from Clemson, who I think is going to be in that conversation.
Yeah.
That kid from Oklahoma.
Not this year. Next year we'll have Bryce Young, probably C.J. Stroud, DJ, whatever his last name is, a bunch of U and a bunch of letters. I'm trying to remember what other quarterbacks would be.
There's a few. The 2023 draft. Bottom line though, Funk, is that in 2023 you can get very creative with the draft and trade up, and then
Lions fans don't want to hear this, but they're going to be stuck with Jared Goff for a couple more years.
They're going to be stuck with him for next year, and then after next year you can go ahead and get rid of him. So Grayson McCall.
That's not PI. Excuse me.
So
yeah,
but here's the good news, Funk, is that you have plenty of draft capital to go ahead and get.
It's up to you guys to hit on that draft capital,
and then. Also, there's going to be a quarterback. I really think that NFL teams are really going to fall in love with Desmond Ridder, and he could be a guy that you're not going to use your first round pick, but you could use your second first round pick.
The pick with the Rams. They'll probably take a quarterback.
Yeah, you also have enough draft capital that you could trade up in the first round. Let's just say the Rams are a wild card team and they pick 25. You can move from 25 to, let's just say 15. The Patriots got Mac Jones at 15. So let's say you get Ridder at 15. You can go from 25 to 15 because you have 2 first-round picks in 2023.
Oh, come on. Yes,
well,
sir.
Their pick is currently 30th, I think.
21-20. Fuck Coastal Carolina. Excuse me.
All right.
I apologize for my language.
The Rams pick is currently
35-year-old freshman is excited. You can't get on the defense too bad considering they've gotten better. We're not saying the defense is the worst defense in football, but it's not a good defense.
No, it's not Kansas City or Seattle.
It's good that they're getting better, and I love the fact that you used your second and your third round pick on defensive line. I like that you're building from the inside out. That's why if you have the first pick in the draft, you have to draft Thibodeau. And then you have that young defensive line you can build on in the future. So,
for the sake of argument, if Detroit goes if they have the first pick and they have I'm gonna say pick 28, if they go Kayvon Thibodeau and they go Matt Corral, Carson Strong, Malik Willis, whatever quarterback's available, I think they win the draft. Because that's a great. You get the number 1 player in the draft, and you still get a franchise quarterback.
Well, they also have, if I remember right, they have an extra pick in either the second or the third round.
I don't know about that. I know they have an extra first.
They can get very creative in the draft with this year, and what they could do at that 25th pick is I'm using 25. Let's just throw out the number 25. If you want to use 30, we can use 30. The Rams' first round draft pick.
Yeah.
You can trade up, you can trade down, you can get extremely creative. I just don't think that they're going to pick there. I think they're going to get very creative and move around. If they want a quarterback, they're going to trade up. If they say, hey, look, we're not going to draft a quarterback in the first round, they can drop out of the first round and add a bunch of players, which is, I think, what they need. So
draft a receiver. Well, this receiver class is not very good, but you still need to draft one because your receivers are very bad. Very bad.
And that's another thing is that there are some talented receivers in this draft. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Lions go after a couple.
There's a couple. I don't really like this receiver class that much. There's a couple of guys, but aside from that, no, I really don't like this class that much.
Curious to know your opinion of the Bills going for the QB sneak on 4th down at the end of the game. Understand going for the win.
I agree. I would have gone for it.
That call does not suit the strength of the Bills offense.
I would have gone for it. I would have done the same exact thing. I would have QB sneak with Josh Allen.
Well, it's funny because Tom Brady's like the master of going for it on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, doing the quarterback sneak.
If you're telling me your 6'4" quarterback, 6'4", 230, can't get 1 yard.
Oh, he's a big dude. I watched Patrick Mahomes do it and dislocate his kneecap. I don't know, man. I don't know, Jimmy. Obviously, it's easy to second guess that. But I think to be honest with you, what was really great about that was a brilliant coaching decision by Vrabel in not using those timeouts. Most coaches would have called timeouts, try to put some time on the clock. That way, if you give up a touchdown, you're able to score fast. Instead, Vrabel put the pressure on the Bills to make a move, and they made the wrong move. I mean, Josh Allen's a big dude. You could have done a play action pass. You could have given it to a running back. It's hard to say. In a game like that, to be honest, I think overtime would have been advantage Bills. But
I mean, Buffalo could not stop Tennessee for
I was
a
a little
good while
surprised
there.
about that because I was really expecting Buffalo to put 7 or 8 in the box and just say, "Hey, look, you got to beat us with Tannehill," and they didn't do that.
76 yards later.
Yeah, they really didn't do that, and I was really surprised. I really thought that's how they were going to do it. I thought that maybe even put a safety in the box and just say, "Hey, look, go ahead. You got."
I mean, Derrick Henry ran over both their safeties. So
I was really surprised at the way Buffalo handled that. But if you have to give me a yes or a no, go for it. Go for the win. I mean, you got.
I would have done the same exact thing. I would have gone for it.
I'm not sure about the play call. One thing I cannot stand about the Bills is that they use Josh Allen as a running back way too often because Josh Allen goes down. That team's got enough talent that they can go 2 or 3 games without Josh Allen. But I mean, let's face it, Josh Allen goes down. You eliminate yourself from the Super Bowl. Why put him in harm's reach when he's proving that he's a good passer? Singletary's playing better as a running back. I liked Moss coming out of Utah, but he hasn't been playing.
But they're both shorter running backs, so I don't know if I trust them on short yardage. They're both not the Derrick Henry build.
Well, Moss is about 230 and Singletary's about 210, 215, maybe 220. Singletary's not a power dude. Moss is. And I mean,
isn't Moss only 5'10" 5'10" though?
I think
Moss is not tall.
5'10", 5. Moss is a pretty powerful dude, and Singletary's 5'9", 215. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't have a huge problem with the play call, but I mean it's easy to second guess. I mean it's really easy to second guess. It's so
easy to say,
strange. Oh yeah, they did the wrong thing because they got it wrong. But I mean, I might have to agree with Corey that it's the right move. You're on the road. You've been moving the ball. I mean, Tennessee really wasn't stopping Buffalo.
After the first half, really. It was basically all Tennessee because Tennessee just would not be stopped.
I was and I really was surprised. I really thought Buffalo's defense was going to do a little better because AJ Brown was banged up. Julio Jones wasn't 100%.
Derrick Henry went for 143 yards and 3 touchdowns.
And I predicted he would do under 100. So. I'm not doing.
How'd that work out for you?
I'm not doing
that work out for you?
I'm terrible on prop bets this year, so I'm not doing prop bets.
We're the only team. Arizona's the only team to hold Derrick Henry under 100 yards. Well, under 60 actually. We held him at 58.
What they did against him was brilliant. And then Grayson McCall, maybe he is 2023 is the year of the Lion. It's going to be very interesting. The Lions are going to be such a fun team over the next 2 years with their draft picks and what they're going to do. It's going to be a lot of fun.
They'll be competitive in a few years, not now.
I really want to watch. I should have DVR'd this game and watched it, Mike. Yeah. And after 2022, they can cut Goff, and I think they eat 8 or 9 million, but you have to keep them for next year. But next year's only it. That's it. The Galladay comp pick. That's going to be a 3rd round pick. DJ Smith from Clemson. And he's not eligible this year. He's a sophomore. So he'll come out in 2023. Not 2022. But you can't count on any pick to be franchise. No, you're right, Mike. You're absolutely right. So, first 3 picks should be 2 on defense and a wide receiver. I like Nakobe Dean to be there when the Lions use the Rams pick. I mean, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, the linebackers will be there.
It's going to be very interesting to see what they do. So,
I don't know if Nakobe Dean fits the Lions, but I don't know the Lions, so.
Right call on the 4th. Winners want the ball in their hands, just came up short. 8 out of 10 times he wins the game. I can't argue with that. I have to admit I was kind of surprised that that Buffalo lost that game. But oh man, we got Alex in the house here. He's not going to stay long. Yeah, we talked about this earlier. For those of you who don't know, Alex is in Houston, so he is a Texans fan, and we've been hearing a 3-way. Yes, we've been hearing the threesome. We just don't know what the trade capital is going to be. And you're hearing Texans will gain multiple 1st and 2nd for 2022 and 2023. So,
if that's the compensation, I can agree with it because it's Deshaun Watson. Tua would go to Washington. Question would be, what does Washington get out of this besides just Tua?
Well, the whole trade compensation thing is going to be very interesting because if you're the Washington football team, what do you give up for Tua? Because you have to, if you're Miami, you kind of got to move them. So, I mean, is it 4th? Is it a 3rd? Is it a 2nd? Is it you want to give up a number 1 for Tua? I mean, is that too much? And then as far as multiple picks, I agree. But does Miami say, you know what, we're going to keep 1 first-round pick? It's going to be a lot. Remember, because they get 2 number 1s in 2022 and 2023 from San Francisco. So
is it one of their ones with? I think one of their ones is with Philly. Because Philly has like 3 first-round picks this year.
And then Philly has that situation with the Colts, and I forget what it is. If the Colts bench,
if Wentz plays 75% of the snaps, it's a first-round pick.
Yeah, and once this trade is made official, depending on my workload outside of here, I might do a video and kind of break it down. But well, it's kind of funny because Tua is going to back up his magic, and then it's going to be interesting. Jeff, welcome, brother. Welcome, brother, man. It's good that you're here, man.
Hey, man.
A whole hour and a half late.
Yes, and
said he'd be here in 20 minutes.
DJ Smith is in 2023. So he won't be eligible for this year's draft, but in 2023. And that's another thing that the Lions are going to have to wonder is because you're going to have the Oklahoma quarterback, you're going to have the Clemson quarterback. Do you like somebody better in this draft or do you just want to wait? So I showed up because threesome was in the thumbnail. Hey, listen, man, there's nothing better than having a threesome with 3 guys.
Okay, hang on.
And
Denver Gator, we are not friends.
We're always excited because Corey is going ahead and hitting on freshmen half his age. So
damn.
So
I don't even go to college.
Yeah,
that's the other one. That's a Patriots fan. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? I'm not in college. What's this?
You're in App State right now.
Oh, why?
There's a 35-year-old freshman at App State with a freshman in the dorm room. So
you gotta catch that.
I disagree with Tua to Washington since Miami gave him to no chance. They tanked for the guy and got rid of him 2 years later.
This is the trade package. That's what's being said.
This looks like it's what's going to happen. It looks like Tua will end up in Washington and Watson will end up in Miami. The question is what kind of trade compensation Houston's going to get? What kind of trade compensation is Washington's going to get. And here's another thing, Alex, you know better than anything. I like the Davis Mills potential. So do you want to use those draft picks to build around Mills? Do you want to give him a chance, or do you just want to go ahead and throw in the towel already on him? Because do you want to give this guy a chance? That's another thing. So, I'm thinking Tua's worth about a third rounder. It'll be interesting because if Miami has to give up multiple first and second round picks, they may want to get a second in return. And that's kind of interesting to see. I don't know what Washington has as far as trade capital. I don't know if they have extra picks that they can throw away. So
I don't think they have extra picks. I think it's just the normal 7 picks.
This year's ones with Philly. They also get. I don't remember the trade compensation. I know it's 2 first rounds from San Francisco. Do they give one up? And we will definitely go over trade compensation once it becomes available. As of right now, it's not available. If it becomes available Thursday, I won't do a video about it. I'll just come and do the show Friday, and we'll go into detail about it. And then I'll also break down all the games. But looks like Tua will be traded for a first and maybe third. The first will be used for the Watson trade. I'll be honest, if it's only a first and a third, I'd be a little disappointed in Houston. So,
well, no, that would go to Washington. Washington would get a third. Yeah, Washington would get Tua for a third. So that third would be added into the package of 70 first-round picks.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Okay.
If it's just a third for Deshaun Watson, Houston is drunk. There is no way I'm taking Deshaun Watson for just a third-round pick. That is dumb.
Sorry, my schedule came up, so I had to talk to my mom, get my ride set up as well. Hey, listen, man, I'm glad you're here, man. I also do a show solo on Friday, but you get the threesome on Wednesday, so that's a good thing. As a kid who went to school with Corey, I never saw him flirt. He's a late bloomer. He's waiting, and listen.
Okay, for the reference, I was really never with Jeff.
Hitting on college girls right now, so
I'm okay.
So,
for reference, I never really hung out with Jeff outside of school. Or in school, for that matter. We only had gym class, and a couple other classes.
Also, will be still be off on the steam for another week or two. My Astros are 1 win away from the World Series, and will likely be in it a lot. Hey, man, good luck. I know nothing about baseball. All I know is
I don't know a damn thing about baseball.
Boston, and nobody wants to see Boston win anything. So. Sorry.
I would say that I'm a Red Sox fan, because I am, but I don't watch baseball, so I have no reason to talk about it.
I know that Kansas City fans were really annoying when the Royals were in the World Series. I was actually cheering against them just because the fan base was so annoying. I heard "Forever Royal" everywhere I went, and 2 years later, nobody was saying it. So. I promise Mills has shown. Do I think he's a future franchise guy? Not really. Mills seems like an Andy Dalton type. Okay, so you're not sold on Mills. Okay,
it'll really depend how he performs against Arizona's defense, because we're gonna harass the crap out of him.
That's a very interesting game, and I'm going to go over all the details on Friday with all the point spreads. And by the way, Jeff, if you missed your friends are your friends at the Coastal Carolina game? Or
no, me and Jeff are not anywhere near App State.
Oh, okay. All right.
App State's
me and Jeff are up here in New England.
So your friends are at the baseball game. Okay. Houston, yes. Well, that's interesting, because if you end up getting Miami's number 1, you're going to have 2 top 10 picks, and that's going to be very.
We'll have theirs, which could be like the number 3 pick, and Miami, which could probably be number 1. Because Miami's played horrible.
It's going. I mean, we're going to talk a ton of draft, and it's going to be interesting because you could have Miami. They're going to have 2 picks in the top 10. Or I'm sorry, Houston will have 2 picks in the top 10. Of course, Detroit's going to have a pick in there.
Philly will probably have 3 in the top 10, depending on how Indianapolis does.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, we're going to talk a lot of draft stuff, but listen, we've been on for an hour 45, so I'm going to wrap it up. Don't forget, guys, give me a thumbs up, man. Please give me a thumbs up. Enjoy the video. Also, feel free to drop a comment below. By the way, you can always email me. I have it set up that I will receive notifications on my phone. So if you email me, I will respond back. All my social media links are also listed below. I didn't put the links for Corey and Alex on Instagram, but follow these guys. They're entertaining. So Miami has no quarterbacks. They are all well, it looks like you're going to get Deshaun Watson any day now. So
So be happy.
Yes. It looks like you're going to get your guy, and
Be happy until you get the cap salary bill. That's not going to be happy times.
No. Okay, who didn't hit the like? And this is my boy Alex, who's, I think it's the first time you've been in here. This is a true fact, by the way. Me and Alex have played pool a couple hundred times. I've never lost to Alex in pool, not even once. I am undefeated against Alex in pool. So that's a little fun fact. But Alex, man, welcome. He has an excellent barbecue restaurant. So anybody who's in the Midwest, definitely hit Alex's restaurant up, man. It's phenomenal. I love. As a matter of fact, I want a Hudson burger right now. So, but Alex, we will have to play pool again sometime, and I can keep my streak of, I think it's like 400 straight games I've beat Alex.
Hey, yo.
And and Alex is very excited. Hopefully, Coastal Carolina will continue to keep winning.
Coastal Carolina's winning 27-21. They just scored. Yeah. App State's driving right now. I'm probably a couple of plays ahead of Alex because I imagine he's reacting to the kick return.
And Alex, you missed it. So, I put action on Denver, so hopefully I can get my winning streak back up. And I'm going to wrap
3 Alexes in the stream.
Yeah, we got several Alexes actually. It's kind of cool, man. We got several Alexes in the stream. I got my boy Alex Hudson. I got Alex here, and hopefully we all got the Broncos winning. Hopefully Friday I'm coming fresh off.
Yes, sir.
So don't forget, give me a thumbs up. And guys, thanks very much for joining in. I can't thank you enough for joining in. And like I said, if you have any questions, comments, anything at all, you can always email me. Follow me on social media. Everything's in the description. I'll see everybody back on Friday.